things. Thank you so much for joining. This is going to be part 1 of 4. I'm going to be going live every single day this week. And I'm going to be taking you through a process and giving you lots of things to think about, to consider, to play around with, to maybe take to your garden and enjoy in the sunshine, whatever you need from it. I'm also uploading it to the podcast. So if, like me, you prefer to walk and learn and listen in that way, you've got those options there. Also, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do go over there. There is so much content and I really want to grow that channel this year. That is one of my goals. But what are your goals? What are your business goals? Now, I know the kind of lifestyle-y stuff is lovely to do. The kind of like, I want to feel my word for this year, or I want to have more time. But maybe in this back to school moment, you are thinking about your business and how you want to close out the year, essentially. I know that on January the 1st, many of us can write these huge long lists of things that we want to do and be and have and all of these things. And then what happens in September is that we maybe get into a bit of a reflection moment, maybe a reality check, always with kindness and compassion, etc. But now this time of year is a really lovely opportunity to get into the specifics of where you're going with your business goals. And I'm going to give you lots of practical things to think about. I've just thought of something else, so let me write it down. Okay. Doing this on the fly, of course I am. All right. So, September for me is the beginning of a new chapter. It is in normal life because I like that back to school feeling, but from next Monday, I'm going to have 2 children in school, which is such a novelty for me because for the last 8 years, I have been doing the juggle big time. Now, I know they're only going to be there for 6 hours a day, so that is kind of shorter than a typical working day, but it's really shifting where I go next in terms of my goals. And I've really been thinking about what does business and career growth and where I go next mean to me? And it can be very easy on a day-to-day basis to get stuck in responding or reacting. So maybe that's responding just to your to-do list, like, oh, I better post something on Instagram today. Oh, I've got to get back to that client, or I've got my client chargeable hour stuff that's going on. I've got to clear my inbox. There's something glitchy going on my website. I need to sort that, etc., etc. And I encourage you today through this training to really step back from that day to day. Now, if you want to do a 360 business review, I can highly recommend my Jam and Plan course. If you go to the How I Help section of my website, you can scroll down and you will see that Jam and Plan course. It's only £100. I say only, but what I'm offering in that, in terms of what you will get in return, will be transformational for your business. I often describe it as that moment where the lights go down on a quiz show and it's like, okay, let's lock in, let's confer, let's think about where we go next. And that is what Jam and Plan is. So if you want to do that course, you can access it straight away. It's 4 hours, it's brilliant, and it will really give you lots of food for thought. So moving on to today, I want you to think about your business goals in more detail. Now, I know already the news is telling us about all kinds of things that may be returning over the winter months. You know what I might mean by that. And I think for the past few years, many of us have been perhaps playing smaller, maybe because we've needed to, than we usually would. Maybe because we were caring for people, maybe we just needed that for our own mental health and capacity. Maybe it just felt like too much energy to think wider. Maybe your business completely pivoted through that time and it's just not quite caught up with itself. So today I want to give you some things to consider, some topics to delve into. And I want you to start broad with all of these topics. So grab your Sharpie pen, grab your piece of paper, and I want you to write down anything that comes to mind. It doesn't matter if you're feeling like you're just kind of sketching the outside or you've just got a few lines going on. You can color it in later. It's all good. You don't have to get into the specifics. You don't have to know the right answers. You don't know how you're going to do everything yet. Go easy on yourself. But this process of getting it all out and having a good look at it is a really important part. Almost like that moment when you might declutter your wardrobe or a drawer or something like that you've been putting off, and you might just keep shoving stuff on there, and after a while you know that drawer's just got to come out. You've got to pull it all out, see what's in there and see what's going on. So the first question that I have for you is about money. Money between now and Christmas. And really thinking about what that looks and feels like to you. Is this a season of you saying, right, let's see what we can do here? I know that I will be in that season. I've worked out that I will have an additional, if I choose to, 40 hours per month to work. So when I do my calculations and my predicting, that potentially can mean more income in that way. But what I want to do today is allow you and to have that time and space for yourself, to really think about what does money look and feel like in this season. And I want you to begin, and Jam and Plan Live will help you with that course that I mentioned earlier, to really get into the nitty gritty of what do you want to earn this season, this quarter, however you like to do it, this month, and really go into the detail. It can be easy to ask yourself the question of what do I need to earn first and foremost, but I know that many of us are capable of more than we ever think. So I would rather go into the nitty gritty of thinking, actually, what would I really love? I was thinking about my beautiful laptop and my iMac here as well. My iMac I bought in 2012. And this Mac computer that I'm resting this phone on was purchased in 2014. I am ready for an upgrade. I am also thinking about an upgrade for my phone as well. So bearing those things in mind, that needs to come into what am I bringing into my business. So thinking about additional purchases in that way. The second area I want you to look at is your lifestyle and your feeling. And that could be on a day-to-day basis. That could be at certain points of the week. So one feeling and lifestyle, I guess, that I have for me is that Monday to Thursday, I go hard and I get all my work done. I'm in that flow. And essentially, I'm really working a strong, purposeful 4-day week. Fridays, hopefully, let's see how this goes, but I'm putting the intention out there, will be my day to do other stuff. Meet a friend for lunch, take my mum for a cup of tea, do an extra long run if I want to, read a book, do a class, any of those sorts of things. So Friday for me, I want to have that feeling, and again, I'm going into that feeling of winding down, tying up any loose ends, but essentially getting ready for that feeling that I want to have for my weekend, which is about joy, pleasure, relaxation, getting cozy in this autumn season. I've already had the cookbooks down, thinking about what I'm going to cook, and I really want to experiment in terms of encouraging my children to try some different things. And that is going to be my sort of new rhythm, essentially. My rhythm for the last 8 years has been anything but that. It has been many moving parts, moving all at the same time, little windows of opportunity, and me feeling like for the majority of the time, and this is not necessarily a bad thing because I do thrive in this environment as well, but I'm interested in the flip of like what would happen if I actually moved in another direction. I have felt like I've always had tabs open. Even when I've gone to sleep, you know, I had 2 children that didn't really sleep through the night until 3.5. And my daughter has only just turned 4. So that moment of like listening out, is she okay? Oh gosh, am I going to have to get up, etc. So that is a big shift for me. So when you're doing this exercise for yourself, think about your rhythm of the week. Think about your rhythms of your day. What kind of energy state that do you want to be in? When are you open and closed? When are you available and unavailable? Get into that nitty gritty. Number 3, customers, relationships, people you want in your world, in your space. Who are they? I really want to work with people that just give me so much joy. And that's really tricky in terms of a niching sort of marketing situation. But my aim is, even though with clients, we are making bold strides each and every day, we are doing all of the things, I want to have joy through those relationships as well. And that, knowing that is my end intention essentially, makes me make decisions about my availability, how I talk in emails, the kind of copy that I have on my website, the kind of stories that I tell on here. It really gives me so many clues. And so if you are attracting, for example, clients who are maybe not paying on time, or they're hard work, or they're unpredictable, or whatever that might be, look at how you are as a business owner and how you are in your everyday life. Because it may be that you are attracting those sorts of clients because, and you might be doing this absent-mindedly, like, oh, sorry, I meant to send you that thing. Sorry, here it is. It's like 4 days late. Sorry. If you are operating like that in terms of your business goals, that is not a match for the kind of client that you want to come in. You want people who have gone, thank you so much, I've just received your invoice, I've paid it. Thank you. And then you can get on with it. And then it frees it up. And oh, it's a beautiful thing. Number 4. Ease and logistics. This is a brilliant time to look at your systems and make sure they are reflecting your business goals. So I really want to expand lots of areas of my business. I want to do more acting. I want to work with my coaching clients in a slightly different way. I want to grow my podcast. I want to speak on some different stages. I want to do some more TV and radio. And so I had to have that in mind when my website was redone. And I wanted to take out any of the second guessing from it, because what can happen when you have a portfolio career is sometimes people might A, find it really confusing, and B, they might just find it a bit overwhelming and they'll be like, I'm in the wrong room. I don't want to be on this page. I just want to get to here. And so I really had to go back to basics. And I talk about this in Jam and Plan, actually, about building your portfolio career or your personal brand house. And so even if you go to an art gallery, for example, you can go in through the front door, but then you can follow the signs to the areas and the places in which you want to go to. Sorry for the noisy traffic. So if you want to just quickly go to the gift shop, and pick up a print that you saw last time, but the queue was too long, and so you're just happening to pass on your lunch hour, and that's all you want to do. Brilliant. You don't want to go around all the exhibitions. You want to get your print, you want to have your sandwich or whatever you have, and be done. So this is really about simplicity, making it easy for the people that you want to find you, and go from there. Next, how do you want to knock your socks off this year? Now, I've had many moments in my career where I have been humble and grateful, and pinch myself moments where I just thought, how did I end up here? And I mentioned it on one of my, it's on my events page actually. Like, there have been times, there was one day, for example, I met all of the Spice Girls, and that was a really, really weird moment for me. Like those sorts of things, or going in for a 10-minute audition and then making money in a day that I'd previously made in a year. Like those sorts of things. Also, the kind of stages you want to be in, the kind of conversations. Maybe there are people online that you follow and you think, gosh, that would be great to be in their world, to be in that arena, to be in that space. So I want you to dream big again and think about what that looks and feels like for you. Now, 2 more things. 1, who do you need to tell that you are ready? And this is, I guess, linked to the final point. This is about making shifts to show that you are ready. And you may not feel ready on the inside. You may feel like a lot of these things are a long way away, or you're not ready, or ideally you'd like to have your new website up and running, or all your ducks in a row, or I don't know, maybe you thought 6 months from now would be a better opportunity. The thing is, opportunities don't work like that. And sometimes you will have an opportunity or a possibility or a conversation, and it might be outside your supermarket, it might be in a yoga class, it might be a mum from school, it might be an old friend who you went to school with, and then suddenly they mentioned your name because they'd watched one of your videos. And you may be given the opportunity to change your life or to open a new door. Almost like a computer game. So I've spoken about this so often. The first time that I worked with Stylist Magazine was, and I've spoken about this process lots before, but if you haven't heard it, go to my speaking room, which is in my freebies house, nikkiroby.com/speaking room. That opportunity came to me very easily. It was through a friend of a friend. The email kind of all worked in a really brilliant way. I then went in and pitched. I had 4 different ideas for talks, and then I was booked. And then I was booked again for various other things. That first time, though, changed my business. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm a millionaire overnight. It wasn't that. I suddenly felt that I had more ease in my business. Now, I also did some very practical things in that. For example, I paid for a videographer to come and film it professionally, so it sits on my YouTube channel. So again, that works for me. That works for me without me having to say, oh yeah, I did this thing, and people are like, okay, have you got any footage? Yes, I have. Here you go. But that just opened doors for me, meaning that it was just proof that I could do it. And so I want you to think in this way. It's all very well saying, okay, I want to do this thing, or I want to meet this business goal. And we're going to be going into this much more tomorrow. But I want you to think, okay, so what does this mean for me? What do I need to begin thinking about? And what is the way that I need to start acting? And how do you need to clean things up and move them in the right direction? One final point that I want to make today is that I am in production for something at the moment. I am beta testing a brand new program that I am developing, and I'm looking for people to come and beta test it. There are 4 different ways you can do it. I'm doing a workshop at my house. I'm doing an online workshop. You can buy individual sessions, which are 100 quid each. Like, I don't do sessions like this at all. 100 quid each. Or again, you can buy 3 sessions with me for 275. I haven't done this kind of pricing for many, many years. But I know that beta testing works so brilliantly for me. I did it in 2019 when I launched my program Speak Up. The beta version was so useful because it meant that I was testing the concept, the idea, the results, the solutions with real life people. And I had such a brilliant selection in that first round of this. And so I was able to say, oh, right. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. For example, I had a big focus on social media as one of the modules in Speak Up. And one of the people who did that course, I can't even say what she did, but she certainly would not be talking about it on social media. And so the fact that she needed to not be on it, but actively step away from it, but still grow her business, was a really interesting concept. And that's what you get from beta testing. You get that opportunity to look at things in a different way. Now, who is it going to be perfect for this? Okay, it's called Press Play, because for me, I feel there is a gap. There is a gap between all of the lovely paragraphs, the pretty website, the stuff that you put in place, whether that's the logo, whether that's, all the stuff. And then there's your business goals. And then there's you in the middle. And what many people miss or are fearful to really step into is that piece where you show yourself, where you go live, where you make it your own, where you get it onto its feet and you really step into that version. So whether that is talking like this, whether this is you in a discovery call and you actually saying what the price is, not kind of shortcutting and go, oh, I don't know, I'll just give them a discount. Like, oh, I hope all of that sort of stuff. Or I know for so many of my clients, sometimes they'll say, oh, I wish I'd said this, or I feel like I've wasted that opportunity, or I'd love to be on that podcast, but I'm just not really sure what I would say. This is why I want to work practically and closely with people and in my own living room, if possible, and if you're London based, because I want to get this stuff into your body in a safe and comfortable place. And I don't want to use that role play, like cringe scenario, but basically with my acting training and my coach training and all of those years of experience in various areas of my portfolio career, I want to be that person for you. I want to be the other person that you can experiment, like your messaging, or I can be that investor who is sitting on the board and I will help you kind of work through what your talk is. Or maybe I want to be that potential client who is just about ready to give you loads and loads of money, but they just need a bit of convincing. So how can you do that in a non-sleazy way? So Press Play, all of the details is under my events page. It's just for September in terms of this beta version, and then I will be launching it later in the year. But I just wanted to throw that out for now. If you know that you are hiding, and again, no shame, no judgment, many of us do, because many of us were not told to go, do you know what, be a massive show off on the internet, Nikki. Like we weren't, we didn't have the internet at that time anyway. But this is about really meeting your business goals head on And quite often, you're not going to achieve those by hiding. And that's not to say you have to become a brand new person and like a massive extrovert who's always, the loudest in the room. You don't. You just have to do this in your way. And that's exactly where I come in, because I can help you refine it and reshape it so it feels like you. If it feels like you, it's going to connect, it's going to land, and you're going to do it more. All of those details are under nikkiraby.com/events. Jam and Plan, as I mentioned, might be a great place to begin as you're easing into September. If it is, just go to the How I Help page, or it's just nikkiraby.com/work with me. That's it for today. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 2. I can't quite confirm yet when that will be timing wise, but I'll let you know. I will save it all. It's all on the podcast, YouTube, Instagram. You can pick it up when you need to. Lots of love, and I'll speak soon. Bye.